All right, everybody, Happy New Year. Well, looks like we're about to get to 2024. So, Jim Venturi here, navigational consultant and astrologer. Time for an update and overview of 2024. All right, so keep in mind, I'm going to talk a bit about the Chinese New Year as well as the numerology of the universal year of 2024. uh, your personal numerology and and also, your own astrology, of course, is more detailed. And so there can be value, though, in looking at the universal year because it's just a general vibe of where people are at. But I would always say combine that universal energy of numerology as well as, again, like Chinese New Year and things like that with your own, and you're going to get a much more clear picture. So as I kind of dive into the universal energy to consider, like, subscribe, even comment. I usually try to respond to comments, so that's good for getting my word out. All right. So let's again take a look at the general vibe of the numerology of 2024. So this would be an 8 year. We just left the 7, and we'll be beginning the 8 year. So eight's an interesting number in the numerology cycle. It is, if you turn it kind of sideways, it's like the infinity symbol. And, the 8 is a somewhat materialistic number, but when you look at that infinity symbol, it's kind of like the spiritual and the intuitive flowing into the material, and back and forth. And that's a very key thing to be aware of, that they do kind of run side by side. But general kind of vibe of what you're going to feel for an 8 energy is it's a lot about kind of coming into your own in terms of practical decisions, even material ones, and in terms of power. It can be a good year for having a little bit more authority, expressing more self-confidence. Certainly could be an ego year, looking at your social status and where that's taking you and the value of that. And even also inner strength. The number 8 is associated with wealth, financial decisions, upgrades in like your work, your career. In numerology, the 8 is like a double 4. So the 4 is about work and practicality. So the 8 is like what happens when you kind of double your work. You use that practicality to move up the ladder, so to speak, energy wise. It can be a good year for taking on a little bit more management skills, being the willingness to take more leadership positions. So good, strong, solid year. A lot of people make decisions, buying a home, buying a car, establishing a business, maybe, again, trying to upgrade their work or career. So you can get that general vibe of the year, again, combined with your personal numerology, of course. And if you're not sure what that is, you can certainly do that research, or I do sessions in numerology privately for people in that way. And, there are some negatives to the 8 just to be aware of. Negatives can be being overly materialistic, even getting caught up in energy of greed, being manipulative in a negative sense. Has good manipulation and there's bad manipulation, being domineering, and also not tipping into being a workaholic and, foregoing other things that matter. But yeah, just as an overall general vibe, the 8 is a strong year for decision-making, practicality, possibly more money and more success. Again, there's a feeling of sort of like bumping it up. Last year, 2023, was the 7 year, and that was like weeding out, clearing, getting rid of, fine-tuning your skills. Now is the time to kind of cash that in to make bolder decisions. Okay, so that's the numerology. Now, let's also talk about the year of the dragon coming up. Now, Chinese astrology doesn't start until February. I think it's the second week of February when that year kind of kicks into place. But we are moving from 2023, year of the rabbit, into the year of the dragon. And this year is pretty significant because it's a wood dragon. So if you're a dragon or you have similar kind of animal totem energy connected with your Chinese astrology, of course, you're going to be particularly focused on this vibe in a good way. If your Chinese animal is a little quieter, the dragon can feel a little uncomfortable. But overall, this is what you can kind of expect in the year of the dragon. You'll kind of see some interesting correlations with the numerology here. It can be really a year for kind of being bolder like a dragon. People that are dragons in terms of birth years are already often very charming, enthusiastic, kind of interesting characters, colorful, fiery, hard not to notice. This particular year is a wood dragon. There are 5 different elements in Chinese astrology. So the wood dragon does lend a little bit of practicality to the dragon energy. So it could be, again, just a general rule of thumb, it can be a good year to look at your using and magnifying your distinct personality, recognizing where you may be captivating and inspiring to others. It's a good year to consider going bigger in terms of dreams, possibly looking more into leadership and how you inspire and affect others. Dragon energy can be about like finding your courage, your passion, being willing to be innovative, willing to just like unearth your fire and see where that value is. Some good energy to consider for the a wood dragon year is wearing the color green. Green can bring prosperity. Emerald green, I think in particular, is often associated with the dragon. But the other side of it is you do want to also find balance because we can take bolder steps, and that's good. That's what the dragon energy will push us to do. We also, again, need to maintain a certain level of balance. So good year to also remember to take time to meditate, maybe yoga, exercise, like looking also at what makes you happy, because we can get really driven during a dragon year toward what it is we want to accomplish and do, and that's good. We should go with that. But again, we like in anything, we always want to find balance, and dragons sometimes can get a little out of balance because of that intense energy that's part of who they are. I'm a wood dragon, natally. So this year is going to be real interesting to watch how this unfolds. But anyway, so this is what we can look at for 2024. Just a general universal vibe. Again, keeping in mind that your personal numerology and how you combine with the Chinese Year of the Dragon in terms of your own animal is significant and more personalized, and information about getting a personal session with me. We only do about 15 sessions a week, so it might be a waiting list of a week or two, but you don't have to be in office. You can do it by phone. So just a good reminder, you can get a feel and a vibe for your unique year if you're interested in that. Otherwise, again, there's always some good vibes to consider with the universal year, because again, it does affect everyone to some extent. So again, wanting to wish everybody a happy new year, and again, like, subscribe. Until next time, have a great new year ahead. Cheers.